Şu anda Olivia'nın Olivia'nın askerden arkadaşı Sara'yla birlikteyiz ve asker hayatından bize bahsedecek. Hi Sarah.
Hi. How's it going?
Good, thank you. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Other than my wallet's going really nice. This venue's amazing. When she was saying that she was finally getting married, I was like, heck yeah. She was literally, I remember we were in basic and she was like, why hasn't he proposed to me yet? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Arizona, where we went to AIT.
Can you tell me what is AIT?
AIT is advanced individual training. So once you're done with basic, all of the basics and all the shooting and fighting and all the random stuff, that's when you move on to your individual training. The individual training kind of goes into your MOS, the job that you picked. Essentially, I'm not gonna say what MOS means because don't ask me. I'm not gonna know.
Okay.
But an MOS is a job that you pick from a certain list after you do a test.
Okay.
And the test called the ASVAB, I believe. Yeah. Depending on your scores and what you get, that's how your job list is determined.
Okay. So it's not like what you want, but it's more depends on what score you get from this test.
Yes, and I don't know whoever's gonna see this, but anyone out here who's gonna see this and thinking that they're gonna join the military and before taking the ASVAB, take the ASVAB first before you sign on to the military. I saw these 3 girls who were about to sign on to the military before even getting their job listing. Imagine if they got terrible grades and went to infantry.
So you can get this test before signing up to military.
You can get that job list beforehand. You do not need to sign up for anything. The recruiters will say it. No, they're lying. They're lying out of their ass. They're not talking the truth.
Wow, we're getting like insider information on the U.S. military.
Yeah, recruiters are crazy people. Like, some of them are nice. You got to find the right recruiter, but some of them are crazy people. This one tried to break me up with my boyfriend because I didn't want to sign up with him because he was being so pushy, and I had to think about it. So I decided to go to a different recruiter after I had, explored all the branches, decided I want to go to the National Guard, and they were apparently competitors. So for recruiters, it's very specific. So they have to recruit a certain amount of people per year, and the more people they recruit, the more, the more awards they get, the more bonuses they get. And so it's really dependent on how much they do. So apparently they were direct competitors for the top 1 position in New Jersey. So I was like, for a peace deal, I decided, because my boyfriend wanted to join, just to join with me. He was such a sweetie.
So is he also in the army?
Yeah, he joined because of me.
Army couple.
I know, it was very sweet. You have no idea how many people, if you're a couple in the military, how much people are going to say they're going to cheat on you. That's a terrible thing. You got to be careful with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is so interesting, Sarah. And where did you come from?
I came from New Jersey, so not that far down.
Okay.
But it was... I'm used to airports, but I don't know really anyone here, but my military
Can you turn
friends...
here for the light purposes?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
But I don't really know anyone here, so it's
Yeah.
it was a little nerve-wracking, but you're such a sweetie.
Of
I love
course.
So,
Now you know me. You're located in New Jersey with your boyfriend in the army, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is are you on the field or more like an office thing?
It's more like an office thing. So how National Guard works is it's kind of like a part-time thing. So it's basically made so that way you can do college while you're in the military. You don't have to deal with all that random active bullshit. Because active duty, you're actively on a base.
Yeah.
And you're going to be there for a while. Maybe you could
And
do...
it's a hard life, right? Because it's really hard to have a family when you're on the active duty.
Yeah.
You're traveling a lot, you're gone a lot, and you don't even know where you're going to be assigned to, I guess, right?
Yeah, you don't know until you're done with AIT, and even then, that's if you are done with AIT, because AIT can be very difficult. They squeeze a whole 2-year associate's degree into 4 months. That's what they did for us anyway.
Okay.
And that was... Oh, that was stressful. But, more on that later,
Tell me about your trainings, how hard they were, because you also had physical trainings, right?
He's getting the same basic training, at least in, for active and National Guard and then reserves. They're all getting the same basic training if you're in the Army. Granted, you might go to different places. So, for example, I was stationed in Missouri for my basic training. Oh my God, Missouri is the worst place to go for basic training because, not only is it'll go from, went like so hot. It was so hot at the beginning, and then suddenly it just dropped. It went down to like 30, 20 degrees. Let me tell you, when you're out in the field and you have nothing protecting you and that wind is hitting you, that's gonna hurt. So so I was in Fort, God damn, I can't even remember, but I know my mom was in it too when she went through the military, and they have a habit of not really noticing shorter people. So when you're rucking, like, if you know what a ruck is when you have this huge backpack. Okay. Normally like 40 pounds or heavier.
Shit, that sounds heavy.
Yeah, and then well, I mean, it is once you ruck for like a couple miles. Yeah. So you have like a 4, an 8, and then like a 12 mile, which can all be equally as terrible when you're not used to it. And the first ruck, this is like probably like one of the hardest things when you're first doing the ruck. They don't focus on short people, like, because when you're walking, you need to keep pace with the person in front of you. Yeah. If there's a bunch of tall people,
they have the wider steps, right?
Yes, wider steps. So it really fucked a lot of people up. I mean, my mom had hip injuries. Like, she had broken hips all throughout basic training.
Wait, your mom is also in the army?
Yeah, she is. She was active duty.
Okay, girl, this is like a family of army person.
Only her. She was actually active duty in Germany for a while, and then she she stopped because she had me, and then disability pay. Okay. Funny, if you're in active duty, they'll give you disability pay, which means pay for life. It's
like unlimited until you die.
Yeah, but only if it's really like kind of bad. So do
you mind if I ask you how much is it? Like, or is it like a secret?
It really depends, because you have like a certain percentage of pay. So it can go from like, maybe, a couple hundred to like thousands. So it really depends on how much they screwed you up, right?
Oh, shit.
So she got like thousands because she got the broken hips, and that was their fault because they had a bunch of tall people in the front. I mean, me and her both had to talk to the drill sergeant and say, Drill sergeant, we cannot run up and down hills, because when you run up and down hills, your knees get messed up. Like, you cannot, I'm not even kidding, I felt like I was an old lady walking around because I would get, like, my knees would lock up. Yeah. How do they lock up? I was 18! So, they balance it only in one sense, because they make everyone do the same kind of thing except for the ACFT. That is the fitness training test. Okay. And so females and males have different requirements. For example, there's like a ball throw where you like throw like a 10-pound medicine ball behind you and see how far you can get it. For females, you only have to throw 4, and then for males, you have to throw 6. You're probably gonna throw. It's like you have to, so you sprint back and forth from the field, then you take this 90-pound weight and you drag it back and forth. That's gonna mess you up. Then you do like these side steps back and forth, which you're going to be like, because you just dragged 90 pounds across and back. Yeah. Then you take another 90-pound dumbbells, like 2 45s on each side of 40s. I don't know, I'm not good with whatever. You run back and forth, and then finally you sprint back and forth afterwards. I did not, honestly, I was like, you breathe really heavy after it. But I didn't really like throw up until the last time I took an ACFT, because it was like.
So you do throw up as well?
Oh, yeah.
That's stressful and like physically challenging, right?
Oh yeah, but it's not like. In the military, it's a little different when you throw up. Oh my god! And they're like, yeah, you did good. Hell yeah! You're really working yourself hard with that one, and getting pats on the back. But I mean, I think it's only a good culture in the sense that you never feel embarrassed when you really feel like you're pushing yourself, because as long as you do it, people respect. They're like, yeah, you did it. Oh, and you don't complain, don't whine, because that's actually a big thing that women face in the military. It's a lot of the sexism kind of thing. Yeah. Because when we whine, we're considered very bitchy. Yeah. Because everyone else is going through the same thing, so you have to kind of learn to not whine
and push through your boundaries and limits.
Which is a good thing, but the problem is that a lot of men take that to heart and think that we also have it easier in the military, which We 100% do not. You get a lot of men complain. Oh my god, I got this complaint often when we were in the ruck march. I complained to the drill sergeant, and then they got mad at me because they were like, "Oh, but you guys take such short steps, so our energy goes down faster because we have to take short steps."
Yeah.
Boo hoo. Like, I get broken hips, you get tired faster. I see the correlation here, and it's not a good correlation. Like, you gotta. People really gotta come together. Like, once you're like really in it, you know, you really work together.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a lot of that, like, there is still a lot of that sexism, especially when you first start out. Like, an exercise we had where they gave us a picture and we had to assemble all of these heavy, like, parts exactly the way that it was, and men wouldn't let girls even near it for a while because they were like, you know, oh, we'll take care of it ourselves. What was funny is that when they finally let us go, because they failed for 3 times, so we got smoked so many times, they finally were like, okay, let the females do it, and then guess what? You got it first try.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
like,
it's because it was like a cognitive test,
yeah,
right?
well, you start to realize that females and males do have distinct differences, but they're good differences, and you need to learn how to work around them. So even though females are a lot less strong, so you let guys do some more of the heavy lifting depending on the situation.
We have a cognitive advantage, I think.
Yeah, we notice details a lot more. You really notice that once you get in the military, that women are much more
detail-oriented.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So it's gotten us out of a lot of trouble once the dudes finally realize, hey, we can definitely help. But girls definitely are also a little stubborn, you know, because they want to prove themselves. Yeah. So once you allow, you know, men to help you with some really heavy stuff, you know, it's like cohesion, community harmony, because you can't say that we're the same, because we're not. There's always biological differences, but you got to use it to your advantage, and that's what definitely really helped us.
Definitely. And I think like the men should stop being so cocky and just like let women do their thing and just sit back and relax, because we can take care of many things. And you know, I think they're a bit like, also they have too much ego to accept female can be better than them. And it's just not in the army. I think it's all around the world, you know. They always push females a bit back, on the one step back, unfortunately. But like, I think the real hero is your mother, because we are in the 21st century. It's 2025 right now. I think the life in the army for female is much easier than how it was back in the day when your mom was on active duty. And it's I'm admiring those kind of women who stepped in to male-dominated specialty area. And even back in the days, like, I cannot even imagine. Obviously, like, I've been seeing movies as well, right? Not that like I know a lot of it, but all the bullying, all the sexism, etc. I think it was like a real thing back in the days.
Oh yeah, you can't say anything too political, like especially with like, you can't swing one way, because if you swing one way, then that really recognizes.
And America Americans are very proud of freedom of speech, right? A bit ironic.
Yeah, that's the amount of people that, you know, they won't date a Democrat, they won't date a Republican, they won't even talk to them, because, you know, I mean, the problem is, how are we supposed to have these kind of conversations if you don't even want to talk to them about it? I mean, it's very difficult, and that's why things are getting a lot more polarized in the United States, and people are moving over to Canada. I mean, I might think about it. Canada's really nice. Get you used to it. They gave us like all this like puffy jackets to like, you know, help us with the cold, and then our drill sergeants were like, "You're not wearing that. You're not wearing that." We go army style, and I'm like, shit. They force you to eat. Like, a lot. They force you to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They make sure that you eat. And if you don't, and like if they don't force you to eat, your comrades will force you to eat, because they'll be like, why aren't you eating that? Another big thing, a lot of the men are very like bulky, very big, and they need a lot more calories, you know?
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for this interview. Let's wrap it up here. Sara'ya çok teşekkür ediyoruz arkadaşlar. İnanılmaz bilgiler edindik US Army hakkında. Çok enteresan bir konuşmaydı. Sonra düğüne rehearsal dinner'a doğru devam edeceğiz, hazırlanacağız.